Let us first loop through the tuple items by using a for loop. Here we have a tuple called fruits. And we can use for loop to iterate over the items. For that use for and each element can be taken as x and using keyword to search through fruits tuple and followed by that give a colon. Now printing out x will give us each item one by one. This is how we can loop through a tuple just like we do with list. Now let us learn how can we loop through the index numbers. We can also loop through the tuple items by referring to their index number, for which we will have to use the range and length functions to create a suitable iterable. Let us take tuple with 3 items in it. Now let us iterate over the fruits tuple using for loop and in keyword. And while iterating, we are using range function to get sequence of numbers, starting from 0 by default and ending 3, which is length of our tuple. So as we learned, the length of tuple would be number of items in the tuple. Here it is 3. And we can find the length by using length function. Provide a colon followed by for loop and print out elements of fruits tuple using index will give each element one by one. Now let us learn loop through tuple using while loop. You can loop through the tuple items by using a while loop. Use the length function to determine the length of the tuple, then start at 0 and loop your way through the tuple items by referring to their indexes. Consider a tuple called fruits and we can loop through these tuple items using while loop, for which initiate loop using I equal to 0. And then use while keyword and provide our condition that it does not exceed the length of tuple. For each I we need this loop to print out elements of tuple corresponding to the indices. Now remember to increase the index by 1 after each iteration. It will now loop through each element and print out each items for us. This is how we see a loop through tuples using for loop and while loop. Also, we have learned iterating using indices. This is the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. See you within another exciting session. Happy programming!